So we are the observer, we are the observed, right? And we are the stethoscope. I spoke about that before, many, many times. And we're going to now do a little bit of sensing with Qi. And we're going to start as if we're going to do it again. But our hands are going to cross in front. And I'll wait for you wherever you are. Let the hands come back when you're ready, and we'll cross in front. Very good. And we're going to let the hands now just wash over each other. Just wash, wash, wash over each other. There we go. And see if you sense something. See if you sense something there. It may be slight. It may be actually pretty palpable. And it is highly, highly, highly personal and highly subjective. And I remember when I first started doing this, and I sensed this, and I would say to myself, am I imagining this? Is this real? You know? And then I would go to other people and I go, yo, can you feel this? And they would go, dude, that's the weirdest thing that is so crazy. So the corroboration is that this is transferable, that other people can witness this, other people can feel it. So if we can feel it, they can feel it. And if we can feel it, something is transacting. That's the most important thing, that something is happening. And the intention to smooth, the intention to restore flow, the intention to make things good. So we have this little ball here, okay, and what we're going to do is put one hand over the other, okay? We have this little ball, and we're going to stretch it now, okay? Like it's a little slinky. We're going to open it, and we're going to close that. And we're going to open it, and we're going to close it. And now we're going to go side to side. And we're going to open it. And we're going to close it. And we're going to open it. And we're going to close it. And this is called transforming Qi. Transforming Qi, transmuting Qi, making this little ball again, okay? And what I'm going to ask you to do now is, if you've developed this sense of Qi between your hands, what we're going to do is we're going to use the fingers or the palm of one hand, and on the other, we're going to go up and down the medial aspect, the inside of the palm, from around the elbow back to the wrist. And we're going to do a little multitasking here, drop our tail, breath lowering. Now, it's not necessary to know that this is the heart meridian, pericardium meridian, lung meridian. But these are the energies that the acupuncturist will work with in Oriental medicine. Now, you may start to feel a little something there. And if you come to an area that says, ooh, like that's really interesting, stay there. Stay there for a moment. This is a manifestation of, and we're going to now go to the other side. So we normally think of breath. We always think of breath as something coming in to the lungs, through the mouth, through the nose, into the lungs, right? That's breath. That's respiration. But I want you to think of this as a form of breath. I want you to think of this as a form of something transacting. And as a matter of fact, we can layer onto this our actual normal breath. And we can say, well, when we're breathing in, we're coming up. And when we're breathing out, we're going down. And the same way that an artist would play a cello, play a violin, we are stroking, moving, Qi, noticing the foramen, the acupuncture channels in the hands. We're going to turn over now to the backside, okay, to the yang side. And yes, absolutely sit, stand, whatever's comfortable for you. And this may take a little more time, a little less time, but just spend a little time and notice. Does it feel like something is happening? And I'll guarantee you, you do some of this for some time and you develop this strong sense of Qi, and you can go over to someone and say, hey, can you feel this? And that's how I started the path in energy medicine and in energy healing. Becoming more sensitized to what is going on in our own body. Now, I spoke the other day, and maybe, it's a little obtuse in the beginning, where I said, relax not only your fingers, but the airspace right between your fingers. And imagine you could breathe out right through your hands. So take a nice breath in and breathe out right through the fingers. And imagine now stagnation coming out. And we're going to go back now to the very beginning where we were, the very beginning. And we're going to do this just moving again, okay? We're going to do it, however, with the little bird's beak this time, okay? And we're going to come up. And we're going to pull. And then we're going to flatten out and we're going to push. And we're going to breathe in and imagine we are breathing in healing resources. We're breathing in clarity. We're breathing in diffusion. And then we're breathing out and pushing out right through our hands stagnation, dark, turbid energy. Asking the water in our bodies to become coherent. There's something missing, as I said, in the Yin Yang symbol. There's something, and I'm no scientist, but there's something missing in our classic thought of what the layperson has for DNA. And what's missing is water. And water is not just there to keep it wet. Water in DNA is there. And the oxygen and the hydrogen is split. And the transactional business of DNA is through, some of this is through the transaction and the splitting of water. And there's a theory as to what is called coherent water. That water becomes more coherent, that the atoms and the molecules and the electrons and the protons become more liquid crystalline. So imagine that what we are doing here, and this is happening, is that we can reknit the telomeres of our healthy cells. And we can adjust, lengthen, and heal the telomeres of our healthy cells. And if we have unhealthy cells in us, well, one of the things about unhealthy cells and cancer cells is that they love their telomeres. They don't want to give them up to anyone. And they just seem to have these nice long telomeres that don't want to go away, so they don't die easily. But using our intention, we're going to say, we're going to lengthen and heal the telomeres of our healthy cells. And then our healthy cells will know to differentiate and cut off the blood supply to the unhealthy cells, so their telomeres will shorten. So when I said, I'm going to doctorize you, going to give you that, like in The Wizard of Oz, they gave the lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow, they gave them all their props. I am giving you the authority to become a wizard in your own life. And we go by this feeling. Does it feel like something is transacting? Does it feel like we are doing ourselves good? And if it feels like we're genuinely, absolutely doing ourselves good and nothing happens, what have we lost? And I will tell you, intention is everything. We make our own reality. Quantum says we manifest our own reality. So when we play with this chi and transform this chi and have this feeling of something transcendent, right? If nothing else, this is a feeling of transcendence. But the transcendence is something that is happening internal to us. How amazing is that? We are the transcender, the transcendent, and the experiencer, all in the same time. And it is corroborated by patterns in the known universe. So we're going to do one last bonus round. Since we had all those visitors today and we don't got them no more, we're going to do a real nice bonus round here for you. And it's finding our higher powers. And what we're going to do, we're going to bring our hands up, and we're going to turn them now lightly under the arms. Very, very lightly. There we go. Okay, almost as if there's a little cup and it's under the arm, under the armpit, under the axilla. Not so it's so hard, but under the axilla, so the palm reflects under the armpit. Palm reflects under the armpit, kind of like that. Okay? Drop the tailbone, head rising. And we're going to take one arm, and almost as if we were doing another Tai Chi, we're going to cross the body in front. Cross the body in front. Hand kind of facing down. And then it turns slightly upward. And the body's going to turn, and we're going to ask ourselves, what is my idea of the Godhead? What does divinity mean to me? What does God mean to me? And watching as our body turns and seeing the entire universe, entire world coming around again, coming back. What does higher power mean to me? And when we come out front, we're going to reach for it, grab it, and bring it back under the arm. And notice the sensations that are going on in the body, in the heart, and the mind. And then the other hand will cross. What is something that is so very, very important in my life? How can I manifest? Out of all that's there, how can I empower myself? And when we come out front, reach for it, grab it. It may be unintelligible, it may be ineffable, it may be noetic, it may have no words, but the sense of it is extremely strong, and just notice that. And cross one more time. How may I know God's will for me? We're noticing the search. We're noticing the body, noticing the heart and the mind, and out front, reaching one more time. And bring it back and notice that sensation, that rich sensation. And this last one, the question is yours, very, very personal. We'll do this silently. This is your question. Great, hands coming back. And we're going to, no, we got all this good chi now, we can't let it go to waste. We're going to do the big yum yum, right? We're going to do the big yum yum all the way through. Doesn't that feel good? Imparting healing energy, soothing our insides, soothing our mind, our heart. And, how does it feel? What is the quality of this? Be led by the quality. So, two main causes of disease, stagnation and deficiency. And the object is to restore natural flow. You are the wise one. You are the sage. Own that power. Become used to using it. One last time. Hands coming down. And again, this is our old friendly place. Practice is still going, but the work is done. No more work. No more Qigong, no more Gada, no more nothing. Now is the time to just drift and disperse. Thank you. So I'm going to, let's say, Let's see, can you unmute yourselves, or did I mute everyone? You can't. Okay, let me see. Invite. Ask to unmute. Ask to unmute.
It worked.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. So, thank you all for working through that and sticking with that. And, I was remembering just the other day when I was a teenager, we would go out and we would break light bulbs in people and steal Christmas light bulbs from people who had their Christmas trees out when I was a teenager. And I got caught one time doing that. But it's a little different now. I got to figure out a way to have a code so people can't get in who bother us. But this is what they do. And thanks for bearing with. It made it all the much better when they left. And being able to work through distraction is important. We'll try not. Well, it bothered me as and I just said to myself, I got to rise above this. So
it might be best just to turn them off as soon as they start.
I don't know how. I don't think I can. I don't know that I can black out their. Maybe I can. I got to put a little time into that and see if I can.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, you were doctorized today, okay? And does it feel? Does it feel like something's going on? Yeah. And this is don't let the simplicity of this fool you. It's very powerful. It's very powerful. There's a lot of randomized controlled trials that have been going on since after 2000. There's a cornucopia, of course, of evidential scientific work in China that was done in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and then we started getting toward the randomized control. But the personal, experiential is so very, very, very important. So,
I find it really helps.
yeah. Sam, you've been doing this for a few years now, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I didn't really think of it that way.
Yes, you have. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely makes me feel better.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's we ain't gonna get worse by doing this. This don't make us worse.
No.
Oh no. There's a tremendous, turning on tremendous healing energies, and part of that is, as they say, getting out of our own way, and relieving these sources of stress, and the recovering the way paradigm. We didn't really get into a lot of it today, although in recovery they talk about finding powers in the universe that are greater than ourselves, and a lot. I think it's a natural tendency for people to, as soon as they hear that, and certainly in recovery, they go, oh, no, I'm not going to get into that God thing. But part of that may be, it's not really a intellectual or philosophical, theological argument that they're going to bring up. It's, no, I'm not, what do you mean more powerful than me? No, it's what I say, it's my world. And part of that is the act of surrender. The act of surrender. And surrender can come from hitting a bottom, and it does come from hitting a bottom, because we will stop. we will. Every yang, converts to a yin. However, what happens is that we develop the capacity for surrendering. And when I say surrendering, part of that capacity is tuning into the autonomic nervous system. Part of that is getting into this state of induction. Part of that is getting getting the blood flowing, moving interstitial fluid. Okay? That is surrender. We're in a world now that one more is the name of the game. And one less is strange. You know? It's strange. And the Tao Te Ching talks about that in normal life, we pick up and we learn one thing every day. Learn every day. And in the Tao, we put something down every day. When we surrender and turn over a little bit every day. So I'm going to read one verse here. From my own little Tao. And this is from my little book, The Joy of Not Cooking. Okay? And it's about learning how to not fry ourselves. Parallax view 2. There was a parallax view 1. Using language to accurately describe the Qigong state is like looking into a picture with lines that grow together and truly expecting the image to be deep. With a picture, we generally don't do that. We may buy into the illusion momentarily, but usually we agree and understand ahead of time that it is a representation. We also short-circuit the language part of our brain and engage in a visual metaphor. Yet with language, when trying to describe an experience, we forget that the words are only representations. To quote William James, a menu is not a meal. A description of a kiss is not a kiss. We take the words for the reality when indeed they are no more real than the vanishing horizon in a painting. So we learn to put down one thing in favor of another, and the Tao talks about that. Putting down this in favor of that. So, in meditation they say, well, just stop thinking. And so just go, I've got a few words for it. It's one of the beauties of recovering the way, and one of the beauties of Qigong is that it gives us somewhere to go in order to stop the thinking process. We're guided into the somatic experience. And the Book of Changes, I Ching, talks about having somewhere to go and crossing great rivers, right? And finding a great teacher. So we are that. And I thank you for joining today. And thanks for hanging in there and making it that much more sweet. Now I'm going to open it up to you guys for a minute.